welcome to I'd Back That Kickstarter RPG with Gloryhoundd,
Brendan Carrion,
and
Adam Sink.
And today we're going to be talking about Kickstarters in the RPG style, fashion stuff. We have another Kickstarter show, but I'm excited to talk about all these RPG Kickstarters today because I usually don't get to cover those. So, do you guys have any personal favorites? Like, do you guys want to tell our...
spoilers kind of coming up. Personal favorites of the ones we're covering
Of the ones
today.
we're going to be covering? Like, maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Wow. I don't know. Adam, do you have any personal favorites, bro?
We're going to get into that.
Adam's like, I hate all of them. These are terrible.
I don't know, because okay.
It's all awful.
Honest answer to your honest question, I have, there's 2 that I have my eye on.
2? Okay.
You know, there's only so much money in the world.
Yeah.
And of course it comes down to.
So where are you going to put your money at? Yeah, there's, out of the ones that I have here, there's definitely one I'm super sold on. And I have the feeling that you guys are not super sold on it from what you guys have been talking about before this.
Maybe not. We'll see. We're sure to find out together.
We're going to see what's up. First up, we have Tiny Cthulhu. This is by Ellen Barr and Gallant Knight. Gallant Knight Games, right? Gallant Knight Games, yeah.
That's Alan's label.
And this runs a 3d6 sort of setting, and it's all about Tiny Cthulhu. I really like these particular books because I feel like they're easy for people to start up with. So, Adam, what were your first impressions of this campaign?
I have many Tiny D6 games already.
Yes.
I have Tiny Supers, I have Tiny Dungeon, I have Tiny Wastelands, I have I got a few other.
They've made a ton of settings.
They have made a ton of settings. They're all digest size. They're all very easily digestible, and typically the stretch goals all revolve around micro settings that authors provide for them, and that tends to be the largest part of these books. They're very dice. Very rules light. You know, Cthulhu is traditionally very big, so they're going to make him tiny for this. And it's, as you said, a 3d6, at most 3d6 system. If you have advantage, you roll with 3d6, disadvantage, you roll 1. Traditionally, you roll 2. 5s and 6s are a success. So it's a very easy to grok system, very easy to run. You can pick it up and run almost anything with it. You know, if Cthulhu is your jam, if you really want like a very streamlined Cthulhu experience, this will give it to you. It's got the same Nicholas Giacordino art as all of the other ones. He is on DeviantArt. He does a bunch of Warhammer 40k stuff there too. It's really cool stuff. I really like seeing his art. He did Beach Patrol. He does pretty much all the Alan Barr games.
Yeah, he's become kind of like the Gallant Knight, especially the sort of like tiny author.
Right.
I think it's
the tiny
artist.
author.
The
tiny artist.
Tiny artist. That's right. I think it's important to make a distinction here that when we're talking about Tiny Cthulhu, we're not talking about like Cthulhu chibis or like Cthulhu babies or something. Tiny is referring to the size of the system, not the size of the creatures or the adventures that you'll have. It's regular size adventures. Small rule set.
Regular size adventure.
Yes.
You're not tiny people going through a tiny adventure, okay?
No. Remember in the 80s it was like Muppet Babies, everything was a baby, and I don't know. Anyway, these are I think that these games are really great. Like Alan, I think a couple weeks ago I was kind of like, I used the word formula to describe what White Wolf was doing, and I said it was kind of stale. But that's because they've been doing the same thing for 30 years.
Right.
Alan has worked these tiny games into a very, very tight formula as to what they are, so you know exactly what you're going to get, and they just work. They just work super great. The foundational idea is that it's just very easy to pick up and very easy to play.
Right.
He's always talking about how you could play it between games at a con, or you could play it in the hallway. I mean, that's a feature, sure, but I just think it's great for people who are low crunch players. People who just want to get into the story and they want to play and they don't want to mess around.
Always add-ons. They've got glow-in-the-dark dice. They've got a dice bag, so if that's your jam.
And these are some of my favorite RPGs, like I said, to introduce to people because it is, you can get people going very quickly on it. And you can go to a convention, take out this book and go, have you guys ever played an RPG before? And be able to teach everybody at the table very, very quickly.
Yeah.
I am not a huge fan of Cthulhu, is the issue for me.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll get into that another time.
But this one is fully integrated for all of the books. So you could play this and then mix up books and, make it Wastelands, but also Cthulhu, and you're going to have What was it?
You can have superheroes fight Cthulhu if you really want to do
Right?
that.
Space, Cthulhu in space.
Yeah. Tiny
Cthulhu
Frontiers
in
is- that's the other one.
space.
What's the one? What's the dungeon one called?
Tiny
it
Dungeon.
Tiny Dungeon.
Yeah, Tiny Dungeon.
That one's real good. I have it. I have Tiny Dungeon. I have Tiny Wastelands. They're really good products. They're solid. The other day I was flipping through my Tiny Wastelands book.
Right.
And not Tiny Wastelands, Tiny Dungeon. And I have found these notes for a game that I never got to run because somebody had told me, oh, we might need somebody to sub in, right?
Right.
So I had made these notes. Literally, I made these notes in 15 minutes before I went to a game setting. And then they didn't need me. They didn't need me to run it. And I was like, this is really good. And you can just run this in 5 minutes.
Right.
You know?
And this one also gives the corruption rules to it. So I think that's the big
good.
thing is,
Yeah.
you get corruption rules that you can use for other games whenever you're combining them together and everything. I'm a huge fan of these systems. The PDF for this is $15, and then the actual book itself is $25. The books are I don't know, they're
They're digest size.
yeah, digest size, but they're pretty thick whenever they're all together and everything. And the art is usually pretty good on it. What are you guys thinking as far as this campaign?
Backing.
Are you really?
Defos. I would like to point out that there is an additional there's always additional pledge levels, but the pledge level I'm actually backing at is the one where you get those sick glow-in-the-dark dice.
Yes, okay.
So sick.
Hold on, so are you a super, dice lover?
No, I'm really not. I think 2 weeks ago I was all like, I don't know
Dang
about
it.
these pledges where you get
Yeah,
all this extra
add-ons.
junk.
And then you're like, I need some dice to blow the
I want
dark.
dice. I want enamel pins. Give me some. I don't know. I'm getting the dice. You got me
Really,
with the dice, man.
You don't know yourself.
I don't. Self-awareness equals 0.
They're nice dice.
Oh,
They're nice.
They're
Dude,
really
they're
cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go
them.
back.
They got the
I'm
little
not passing on
tentacles.
that.
They look great. They look cool.
I'm gonna have to go scroll down.
For me, it's... I'm not really a big Cthulhu RPG guy. I don't have any Trail of Cthulhu. I don't have
That's a poverty, my friend.
any of that. I have Cthulhu Tech. That's about the only Cthulhu-based game that I have.
That is literally painful to hear.
Yeah.
That's the only Cthulhu game you
Well,
have.
I played the Cthulhu game. What's the big one? The blue
Call
one?
of Cthulhu?
Call of Cthulhu at a con one time, and I had such an awful experience that I just
wow.
never went back and never had a desire to go back and play it again. It just
Aww.
it was so if you like Cthulhu and you're into that, I would say back this. For me, if I want to scratch my Cthulhu itch, I play Arkham Horror,
Okay.
the board game. I really like Arkham Horror, the board game. I think it's a fantastic board game. It's got all the Cthulhu stuff I want in it, none of the stuff I don't.
I'm trying to think, as far as...
That's just that's my feelings on the subject. So and
That is fair.
if you like Cthulhu, you do
That
back
is
it.
fair.
You
That
have
is
Trail of
fair.
Cthulhu.
I do. I have a boatload of Trail of Cthulhu.
So
Right.
this is for you. It's all for you, Brendan. And then I'm gonna fall off the roof.
Out of all of the Tiny Dungeon books, Cthulhu's got to be popular, though. People love Cthulhu, right?
Look at the numbers. It's it's got a lot of days left, and it's bringing in the money. It's a very
it's
marketable
doubled its
word.
goal. So
It's doubled its goal.
With
It's
26
going to
days
do well.
left.
I
Yeah.
personally am not going to back it just because I'm not a huge fan of Cthulhu, but I have backed a ton of their other games. I have Tiny Wastelands, I have Tiny Dungeons. What else? What other one did I have? There was another one I had picked up from them as well because I just love their
Frontiers is the
products.
space one, and
It might have been Tiny Frontiers
the
because
one
I
a
like
lot
the
of people
space
have.
one as well, But Cthulhu just isn't my jam, but I do want the dice.
God, you
Maybe
love
I can
dice.
find the dice somewhere.
Maybe
do they
it'll
have
be
just...
the pledge manager?
Yeah, I was going to say just the dice pledge. I want just the dice pledge.
just tack it onto his order and make him.
Yeah.
do it
There you
for
go. There you
Yeah.
go. Give me some dice, then I'll just give you the money for that. All right. Well, so nobody. No, you were back. You were back in. All right, you're all in.
He's
Boom.
getting
All
right.
the extra stuff.
I'm gonna push it in.
And plus, it always helps. I always see them at the local conventions, and then when I didn't pick up something, I'm like, oh, do you guys have any of those books left? I just need one of those books. Just need
I'll
one
be
of
able
those
to get
books.
it later if I decide I want to.
Yeah, that's all fair. And Alan does make his way up and down the American West Coast. So
He does.
He's
Oh,
also
that's
at Gen
cool.
Con. He's regularly.
Oh,
at
is he
Gen Con.
really regularly
Yeah,
at Gen
they-
Con? That's
they're there.
fantastic. Does he usually have his Tiny series there? Because
He has everything.
No.
Yeah, he's got all the stuff. Sharp swords and sinister spells,
Yeah.
Tiny, all that stuff.
Well,
He's got
hopefully-
all his stuff there.
Alan can leave comments for this, but will he have his other Tiny books? Or if they, like the Pledge Manager, will it be open to having other Tiny books as well on there? I'm hoping that'll be the case in case somebody missed something, they could pledge for this and then get the other ones, but We'll have to get back with Alan on that one. I don't know. Do you guys know at all? Do they usually?
It looked to me like in some of the pledges there was stuff about the tiny supers dice.
Yeah.
It looked like he has some extras on that.
But as far as the other ones, maybe not.
I didn't notice any of the other rule sets jumping out at me.
It's out there if you want to get the rule sets. They're available. You can
they
find
are
them.
available, at least in PDF form. All right, moving on. Maybe. You can do it.
There we go.
Come on, Internet. Has to go
There
to
we
space.
go.
Give it a minute.
All right, next up we have Dragon Stew. This is a D&D 5e sort of companion book. And I'm going to try to...
Mute the video.
Yeah, mute my video on this end. Or not. Ta-da! Okay, and this is going to be all about cooking, which I thought was a really interesting theme because I don't know who would want to cook on an adventure, but I kind of want to cook on an adventure after reading this and hearing about it. So
And these are not recipes that you're cooking out of game.
No. This is a cooking adventure.
Yes.
So, like, you're in the castle and the king's like, I need this roast whatever, and, like, you have to go out and get it, and you're like, all right, well, let's go do that, and then you go out and get some spices and stuff, and I don't know, you can find, I'm just throwing out stuff. You can, like, become... What, extra classes and stuff like that?
Yeah, it looks
extra,
like there's some kind of tack-on classes. That I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look to me like these are full classes, full, like, 1 through 20 classes.
No, but they're like little, like, extras on top of your
like,
class.
What are they called now when you, like, take that on? They're not called prestige classes.
Yeah, I was going to
anymore.
say,
They're
it
called
was
something
prestige
else.
classes before.
A
but
subclass, right? A subclass, yeah.
Subclasses, yeah. So, I mean... This is kind of an interesting concept, bringing the idea of food into the campaign.
Come on, it's a food ferret.
Like,
I mean, look at it.
Oh, his tail looks
Who
tasty.
doesn't want a cute little food ferret around, right? As they were going through, they got to the familiars portion of this. I was like, come on, cinnamon roll dogs? Like, this is going to be hilarious.
At some point, your familiar is going to get eaten.
Well, that's what I'm
bound to
saying,
happen.
right? Like, if you get trapped in a dungeon somewhere and you're a little hungry,
It
I
says
mean...
these are classes. Like, the baker is a class.
I mean, maybe it's the first 1 through 20 class.
The seasoner is a class.
I mean, yeah.
the
it does say
presenter is a
that.
class. I don't know.
You have like a full team because you have like the person who seasons the food and then the presenter who's going to present like the banquet and stuff. It's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to keep on going on about it. You guys go ahead and go.
I think it's kind of cute how they've integrated this sort of like, you see this a lot in like the kind of anime-based cooking video games, right? And the guy who is doing it, Antonio Demesio, he's an illustrator, right?
Yeah, video game concept artist.
Video game concept artist. So he's kind of in that world, right? Like Cooking Mama or whatever it's called, right? And so, I mean, I think that that's cool, this aesthetic that they're bringing into D&D, you know, because it doesn't always have to be like the same aesthetic. And we see so much grimdark stuff, right? It's like grimdark, right? And
Yeah.
here's something that's like, it's like all pastels. And it's
Right?
Like, it's like very like gooey looking eclair ferrets or whatever. You
To be
know?
fair, we immerse ourselves willingly and intentionally into grimdark stuff.
That's true.
Eclair ferret.
Yeah, there may be a little bit of kind of like, confirmation bias there, certainly.
I feel like this stuff is out there. It's just we're not involved in it as much.
I mean, I've never seen that like at a store or anything. Have you seen that kind of thing at a store?
There's a Tales of Equestria, My Little Pony role-playing game. There's
Well,
all
this
kinds
is
of...
for
There's
D&D,
Mouse
though.
Guard and...
Yeah, but I don't know. This is
all those
like a
little
whole
dog
different
minis
level,
now.
though.
There's all
That's
the little
true.
dog minis
That's
for
right.
D&D.
I'm with Gloryhound. I'm like, this is a different level. This is like...
I feel like it is, you know? It's beyond the cuteness because they're not just being cute. They're making like an entire like story and subclasses and like a whole world building around it, not just
True,
like...
and I mean, there's what? Elemental Milkshake, Owlbear Bentos. There's all kinds of...
Man, that is... I think... Am I the only one that
Bear
finds the title a little bit off-putting? Like, dragons are sentient creatures, right? Like, they're intelligent. You're gonna eat it? You can't eat it.
I don't want to eat a purple worm steak at all, so
What?
I don't...
Maybe.
That sounds gross.
Maybe.
Those are down there somewhere
Yeah.
in here. It's... Yeah, I like the aesthetic, and like
Yeah.
I get it. It's just I don't know that I want to be in a campaign about
You don't want to be in a cooking campaign, a cook-off?
Let's be real.
It just feels like the all-bard campaign, but this is the next level of that.
This is not for me. Like this.
Oh, okay, okay.
This homie is not trying to sell me this book.
This is not for you.
Yeah, I if somebody was like, "Hey, come play this as like a lark," I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot," just like as a one-shot or something.
You're right. I mean, there's dragon ramen, and dragons are sentient creatures, so you're effectively killing and eating a sentient creature. That's a little odd.
Where did the stormtroopers go?
It's fine.
It's fine. What's in the stew?
You don't know. You never tasted dragon before. It could be the most delicious thing ever. Okay.
Maybe. It's a little too cute for me. I do like my Grimdark, but I just think it's a cool expansion of the play space, the D&D play space. Just as Ravenlock took the D&D play space and made it very like gothic, and Dark Sun made it very like post-apocalyptic, and Planescape made it trippy. Like this makes it cute, and that's cool. It's not for me.
You can make this though as dark as you want, though, because I was thinking to myself, the first thing I thought was like coming upon some castle because you're trying to get some ingredients somewhere, and this is the castle of like the baker that burns everything. So he has like the little burned familiars and stuff that are coming after you and everything. And like, I mean, you can make this any way you want. Or the person's tracking down the dragon to like make dragon steaks and stuff out of them, you know?
If you want to run Hannibal, I'm sure you can run Hannibal. And there's probably you could make one of the classes work for that, and the rules work for that.
Is this a jelly cat? What is that?
But
that cat looks delicious.
It does. Everything looks delicious.
Why would you need a crab sauce? Crabs are already delicious.
I want to eat that crab.
Yeah.
That almond-covered crab.
It's like, I don't know, it's like a crab bear claw or something like that.
That's a crab sauce.
That's what it's called. A crab sauce.
The crab is already delicious. It doesn't need help.
The puns, I feel like there's going to be a lot of puns in this
There
game.
is a lot of puns.
This will probably be a very punny game.
I feel like this would be a great, though, thing to play in between games or something, you know, or like your adventures get to, you know, the village and everything, and they kind of need a break or something. You've been through a long campaign, and then doing something interesting like this it would be fun to kind of like put into your campaign here and there.
It'd be a nice tonal change of pace, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is the one I'm most excited about, like for just ridiculous reasons, because my mind just goes immediately to like ridiculousness. I'm like, I could make this campaign so ridiculous.
It already is ridiculous before you started. The ridiculousness is sort of baked in.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
baked into the aesthetic. But yeah, I mean, you can't look at some of these drawings in the art and just be like, oh no, this is clearly meant to be taken seriously.
What's weird is that, like, the thing that bums me out is it says, as a baker, you can make dishes sweet. What does that mean? Does it say what that means?
You're a baker. You can make like sweet dishes.
What does it mean to make your dishes sweet? And it has it as it bolded, like that's like a keyword or something that's going to be important to the mechanic.
You get your fairy sugar and you put it on there, you know, and the baker knows how to work the fairy sugar.
Maybe it's like you need certain things for certain like magical effects or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know, this
all
is
coming together.
This is the whole like fairy potion thing right here, where like you get the fairies and then you put them in the potion.
Grind them up.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like
fairies in a blender.
This is exactly where this spawned from, probably.
I mean, there's kind of like I guess maybe there's an undercurrent of a little bit kind of dark humor here. It's kind of interesting.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it could, like I said, it could be as dark really as you want it to be as you're going through it, you know?
Yeah, well,
and have this very sugar-coated world on everything, but have it be like very Hansel and Gretel, you know? Like you see the candy house, and then you're like, oh crap, people are getting cooked in here. This isn't good.
I have seen other books for other systems that are just real-world recipes for that system. Like Shadows of Estrin has one. And there was another one that I saw, and yeah, I mean, there are... And that Shadows of Estrin one looks amazing, but it's one of those ones where I was like, I don't know where I would source the ingredients to make half of this stuff.
Didn't they do a George R. R. Martin one?
Yeah, there
so
was.
You could, like,
yeah.
You could eat the stuff that you
Game
eat
of
in Game
Thrones.
of Thrones.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, if you really want to.
Yeah.
Could,
Oh, and this
you could
one
do that.
included maps, I think, in it too, which was kind of cool. I don't know how they're going to work that into the book. I didn't
There's
take
like a weird little town.
a little town, yeah, and then but they had
cute.
also like little dungeon-y maps, I think, in it as well, which was interesting.
I'm just assuming these all have to do with like the tracker and finding the ingredients you need to make your dish and all that stuff.
Right.
Probably.
It looks well done, and the art is certainly nice, and the content certainly looks like it's put together with some forethought and planning. It's just, I just don't know that it's designed
Not for you.
me. Like, is this supposed to draw Adam in? Probably not. I am not the target audience
No.
for this particular.
Nor I.
The PDF on this is $17, and then the actual book itself is $44.
Okay.
So, $44 is quite a bit to spend on a full book. Like, but the
Yeah.
art is so cool.
I
Like,
mean, the page count is not what you would call super deep, considering it's 44.
right?
I mean, that's
At
like
most 140 pages.
140 pages. That is, that's gonna be a slender volume.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm on though. I want to back this. This was my number one. I know you guys are like meh, 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 meh.
Number one.
But whenever you start getting attacked by like croissant crabs in my campaign, like
Croissants,
yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Fair enough. I'll know where that came from.
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
Man. Here we go. Now we're doing this.
All right, would you back that?
No.
No.
It's not for me.
But pass.
Pass. All right. Moving on. Next up,
Next up.
we have Soulbound.
Yeah.
This is a dark industrial fantasy by Andy Litch. Litch is like, I immediately thought, ooh, like necromancer.
Yeah, like when I was first reading it, I was pronouncing it licked in my head.
Oh,
but
right.
Then if you go on her Instagram,
Yeah.
her Instagram is Lavender Lich. So
Well, perfect. Okay.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, that's her personal. Her personal Instagram is at Lavender Lich, and then there is an at Soulbound RPG for the game.
So this particular RPG is about items that are bound to you, and then you pull like your magic from them and stuff. And as I went through this, I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. I've heard it here and there a little bit from like, what was it? Wield, I think, had a little bit of that in it as well, where you have like a sort of soulbound sort of thing. But this is not just like, okay, we have soulbound items to us, but this is like a huge world that they've also made. And they're the designer and the artist for the book and everything. I was like, man, like, and apparently like the producer of like this video as well. I was like, dang, like a jack of all trades at this point, you know?
This video is so winning. This video
That's
is
what I
so
thought.
winning.
That's totally
I
what I
swear
thought.
to God, I don't watch a lot of Kickstarter videos, especially not all the way through. But this one I watched. At first, it was very loud, and I was like, what's going on? And then, like, I was watching it, and I was like, I can't stop. This is delightful.
There was one point where I verbally laughed out loud over
Yes.
something. They said, they're like, what was it?
Yes.
If you don't like this, well, then I don't want you here anyway, or something like that. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's legit. Like, oh, but I really liked this portion of it.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what do you guys think about that, where they have the combat, and then it's not just, okay, here's how the combat system works, but actual, like, graphs and stuff of everything of how things should move. How do you guys feel about that?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I'm at the point with systems where I have so many of them at this point where I don't know. When somebody is like introducing me to their system again, I just kind of like, my eyes kind of lose a little focus and I kind of stare off into the middle distance a little bit. Like, it's fine. I think it's okay. It's just I'm not what you would call like one of these crunchy system guys who gets real turned on by that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of an interesting point because there's a lot of people. I feel like there's two minds in role-playing world about this. And one mind says, why does everybody just use the same system? Like, the part of writing a role-playing game is writing your own system. And then the other mind is, why do we have to make a new system every time we do a new game? Why do we have to be constantly reinventing the wheel?
Right.
You know, I see both sides. I'm a big fan of PBTA games. Again, I'm also a fan of Alan's Tiny Games.
Right.
So it's very easy to sell me on something like that because I already know how to play it. But then there's games I think have like, I always look for like interesting mechanics. And one of the things I like about this one is that it's not a D20 based game. It is a D6 pool based game. And so you have me with D6 pool-based. That's always more fun than a D20.
Okay, all right. Well, I thought that although it was a new system and everything, that they did a really good job of showing you exactly how it's going to be played with outlining things like the graphs and stuff like that, where you're moving down in combat and stuff. And just having that sort of visual representation is really good for people, because people who are not used to reading RPG books, they might not... I mean, there's different types of learners. There's visual learners, and then there's learners that, you know, go off of reading and stuff, and some people have to do it and everything to learn it. So, like, they're kind of... capturing a couple different people's attentions with this in order to teach them the game, which I thought was really cool.
Agreed.
I also like the art, so...
The art, I think, is great. The flowcharts, I think, are great. It has a great illustrative sense and a great graphic sense. I've got no problem with that. Those, the monsters that have the faces that open, they remind me of something. What do they remind me of?
Stranger Things? I don't know. Like, because, like, isn't that the Stranger Things monster? It, like, goes like this?
Pan's Labyrinth, Stranger Things, Predator. There's all kinds of monsters where the face, like...
Don't talk about Pan's Labyrinth. That's just so many...
I feel
hurts so much still. Hurts so much still.
I feel like there's kind of a Miyazaki vibe in that, maybe, somehow. But I'm feeling that somehow. I don't know. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of that Wrath of Kings miniatures game.
Yeah.
There's a faction that I feel like has this kind of these strange faces, but I like it. I like they look like big bears.
Yeah, it says, but it says it's dark industrial, but like a lot of these things, I don't get a particularly dark industrial vibe off of. I don't know if that's just me, but it's. Like with the giant sword, that's kind of giving me an anime vibe. There's that picture of the village that's very kind of like bucolic, where it's, hey, it's all bright colors and kind of pastel-y, and it's just, I don't know. To me, Dark Industrial is just kind of like, there's pipes and chains everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's just the sound of metal clanging constantly for no good reason.
It's kind of hard for us to separate, like, the visual imagery that gets conjured up when we put those words together.
Yes.
Like, from essentially some of kind of like what we learned in the 90s goth industrial scene, and also kind of like what, the GW guys have kind of spoon-fed us over years. Like
everything looks like a Kraftwerk video.
Where's the exposed piping? Like, where's the safety markers?
Where's Rammstein?
The hazard tape.
Okay. I can see that. I wasn't thinking about that in particular, though. Yeah, I just thought it was a unique system. But yeah, if that's what you're looking for, I don't know. Maybe it's like they took everything that they liked and like put it together into one thing. That's what a little bit of what it seems like, like, which is not a bad thing. Like, that's interesting. It makes things really interesting.
I think it has a unique voice.
Yeah, but you can't necessarily classify it as something like that, and then for people to come and look at it and be like, oh, that's not what I'm looking for.
Looks like Fields of Flowers to me.
Right.
That's not, like, to me,
that's not industrial at all.
Like, just smoke.
That looks like a clearly habitable environment.
I want it to just look like Necromunda, or something like that.
Well, do you know there's acid rain
everywhere?
Yeah, that's definitely
suffering.
How do those orcs live in Mordor?
What are they doing there? That's true.
What do we grow in the fields? We grow pain in the fields, son, and we harvest misery, and then we pack it in barrels and ship it off to the sea.
My God.
That's the economy of this.
That's the economy, yes. Is they
farm
they just
pain,
and then they barrel age it into misery and they ship it out.
There's a market for that somewhere. I'm sure. You can sell anything on eBay, so I'm just saying.
Wow, that was an oddly specific thing to say.
Gonna take a look at your search history here and learn some things. I think
I hear someone calling me from the other room.
Well, I think that if you're looking for that dark industrial thing, it doesn't feel like that to me for sure. But I did think it was a really unique system. The PDF copy for this is $9, and then the actual book is $36. So I don't feel like it's necessarily like badly priced or anything, especially for the PDF.
Accessible.
You see, that's one of the things I love about this Kickstarter. The PDF is actually appropriately priced.
Right?
Like, we're gonna get to one where it's not, and it's just like, It's just like the PDF is just a pattern of electricity being held in a certain place. Like, can you
I don't need to pay $15 for it. Yeah, like a $9 PDF. I was like, oh. Well, I would back this for a $9 PDF,
Thank
right?
you. And that does show the value of the book. And, I'm looking at it.
Right. Well, I mean, and if you end up getting the PDF, hopefully this funds, and then, you would be able to get the book later, which I don't think it's funded just yet, which I was kind of surprised. This was the only one. Yet? Let me double check. I'm going up.
I said funded in 24 hours.
Yeah. Did it? Never mind.
It's cool.
Okay, never mind. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 1,500. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was 15,000 for some reason. I was like, oh, that's not funding. That's not funding.
That'd be crazy.
Well, then, okay, so then you can go and you can get the PDF, and then hopefully they've printed enough, or at least have print on demand where you could get the book for it. Sure. And that would be really nice.
Yeah.
I'm down with it. Like, they've been writing this since they were, in high school or something? Yeah. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. I love people's passion projects like that. That's amazing. So I would back this. I'd back the PDF copy for sure.
I'd want something darker, and I already have like a game where they farm misery and pain and ship it off to the city. It's Zasarkala. So I can play that already if I want to.
Or Hull.
Or Human Occupied Landfill. You could play that one too. So yeah, no, it doesn't really speak to me. I like it. It's cool and all. It's not for me. And that's fine. It doesn't need to be. Not everything's for Adam.
Okay, so
as we're learning today.
Yeah, no puppy dog cinnamon rolls for you, and no Soulbound.
No Soulbound. No Cthulhu.
Yeah.
I'm just like a sad man today.
You're like the Magneto meme. You're
a little curmudgeon-y today. No.
I'm just all sad. I'm like the Oscar the Grouch in his trash can staring into the distance.
Oh, that's so sad.
Let's see whether you were going to back it. What do you think?
I'm going to back it.
I was the one that didn't say.
Yeah, well, were you going to back it?
I intend to, yes.
You intend to? Okay.
Yes, and I definitely would encourage others.
2 out of 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Next up we have...
Oh, boy.
This is Ptolus, not...
Oh, is that what they said?
That's what it says.
It's not Ptolus.
It's not Ptolus.
I've been saying that wrong for 20 years.
The P is silent.
Ptolus, yeah.
I've been saying that wrong for 20 years, Monty. Nice job.
Ptolus.
Well, and when I was looking at it and everything, that's immediately what I said, and then I was listening and I was like, oh, wait, never mind. That's...
The best part of this that gets you right into it is it's not Ptolus, City by the Spire. It's Ptolus, Monty Cook's City by the Spire.
But Adam, whose city is it, do you think?
It's Monty Cook's city. So
question answered. Now we know.
So and it is very clearly branded that way, multiple places.
Yeah. I mean, the words 2 and 3 of the title should have the developer's name in it.
Correct.
Always.
It's super, super back to. It's like 400,000 or something when we're looking at this.
Goal, and it's 400,000 people who know Monty Cook.
Yeah.
People who know Monty Cook who like his stuff.
Are you saying
we'll
they
back
have
his stuff and we'll come in hard.
Tiny bit of a following?
He might have a little bit of a following.
He is known in the industry.
People may have heard of him.
And people who like his stuff like his stuff.
Sure. Nothing wrong with that.
And this is the sort of world that's going to be put over like a 5th edition D&D. And that's what, this is originally a book that they had done, and now it's an updated version for D&D. And what was the other system? They're doing it for
Cypher.
2 different, the Cypher system, right?
It's for Monty Cook's Cypher system.
That's
and I mean, it's slick. It's a slick book.
Yeah.
It is a 670-odd page book.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can use it as a murder weapon if you need to. Like this doorstop, I mean, this thing could serve multiple purposes in your life. Just given the sheer weightiness of it, I mean, it is not dainty.
Oh,
not
boy.
dainty.
It is.
It's an end cap for your
curvy.
collection. It's an end cap for your collection. You just
Did
put
you
it
say
on
it's
there.
an end point?
The end cap on your collection. You put it on there so it holds all the other books together.
Holds the other books up. Yeah.
It is where I give up on role playing. Is that what you said?
Oh,
No. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's wonderful.
So yeah, I mean, if he's got a lot. He's got the video. Clearly he knows what he's doing.
Dude, yeah.
It looks good.
It's slick. It's high production value.
Like, here comes yet another super expensive game from luxury game designer Monty Cook, known for $500 buy-in for Invisible Sun. So now we're like rocking in at like, if you want the actual physical book for Ptolus, you're looking at $150 minimum. Now back in the day when this came out, the first time when it was for 3.5, I remember it being about $100. So it's like, hey, you know what? The price of doing business has gone up. I get it. It's always going to be expensive to buy a big, fat, 700-page, full-color city book. You know? I mean, but then again.
Do I need a 700-page, 670-page city book?
Yeah, geez. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, this is just another one where I know it's for somebody. Clearly, it's for $400,000 worth of somebody's out there.
It's easier to make $400,000 though whenever your book's going for $150.
Well, yeah.
Well, is it though? Because I mean, you're gonna lose a certain amount of people who just see it and go, "I'm not paying $150 for a book."
The thing is I think if you look at the number of pledges versus the amount that's pledged, Gloryhound's point is well borne out. It's still a very high number of pledges. Obviously, but it's a staggering amount of money, and that comes from the huge price point on it, and then the no doubt a myriad of little buy-in things that you can buy extra for it. I mean, here's the thing. Like, this book already came out for 3.5.
But it's a piece of history.
Oh, the 3.5 version is a piece of history. This is a piece of history polished into 5th edition, and then also for Cypher. This is one of my pet peeves for Kickstarters.
Okay.
When they can't pick a system. They're like, oh, we're going to write this book. We're going to write 2 books. One of them is going to be for Pathfinder first, and one of them is going to be for 5th edition. And it's just like, I don't know, man. The thing, if games are art, and art is about saying something, then show some conviction. Like, is this a Cypher game? Is this a Dungeons and Dragons game? Or is this like, is this like, here's the money, and we're going to put it into the bag. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just a question.
It's the last one.
It's a question that I'm asking as a philosopher.
Are you trying to say it's a little bit of a cash grab? Is that what you're trying to say?
Would I accuse someone in the 5th edition play space of doing a shameless cash grab with a well-known designer and a property that has like name branding value from 20 years ago?
Oh my gosh.
Is it cynical? I don't know.
I mean, okay, so the original one's out of print.
Okay.
You couldn't get it unless you wanted to go on eBay and pay some extortionate amount of money for it.
Because you can get everything on eBay.
Yeah, everything. As
we learned today.
Indeed. So, I mean, maybe there's people out there who want to enjoy it.
Right.
I don't know why it wasn't just for 5th. I don't know. This whole thing where if you look through some of the stretch goals, they're like, hey, we throw the old 3.5 PDF in there for you for free. And I'm just like,
no, for stuff like that they've already had.
Don't do me any favors, Monty.
Yeah, I mean, do I need... No, I just... 5th in general kind of leaves me kind of tepid and lukewarm.
Okay,
Amen.
okay.
And then
Amen,
you're trying to sell me on a 600, 700-page setting book for something I already kind of find interacting with to be drudgery. I'm not there. I can't...
Well, then here's a question. So, who is this book for? It's of course for fans of the system and like the creator and everything, but like if you were going to recommend this book to somebody, who would you be recommending it to? Like
people who I meet at a con who are wearing a Ptolus shirt or a Monte
And you're like, oh.
shirt.
That's what you're going to say. Hey, you got a Ptolus shirt. Have you heard of this game? Ptolus? You should buy it.
Or who are just like, I love 3.5, but I feel like the setting isn't complicated enough.
Okay, all right.
I would say, hey, have you heard of this thing called Ptolus? It's 670 pages of nothing but complications and politics for your game. you should probably buy it, and I think you'll really like it. I don't really know. I don't interact in that space very often. It's
okay.
There clearly are a lot of people who do. Like, there's a lot of classic Pathfinder fans. There's a lot of D&D 5 fans, and I don't live in their world.
You can't use this for Pathfinder, sorry.
Well, I know, but...
Sorry, bro. You can use it for Cypher, though. Okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
Have you ever met somebody who wanted to go through Skyrim and get it to 100%, where they had been on every part of the map, done every side quest, and interacted with every NPC? Have you ever met one of those people?
Yes.
That's me. That's like literally me.
I would recommend this book for them.
Oh, okay.
Because literally,
right.
if you scroll through here, he has like little alleyways like drawn, and he has a little arrows pointing to this is this guy's house and this is this guy's stable, right?
Okay.
And this level of just like
detail,
almost kind of like
neurotic.
Like the level of tedium to describe all of that puts my teeth kind of on edge. But I think that there's probably someone out there who was like, no, I want to go to every house. I want to go to every house in Ptolus. I want to experience.
So,
I need to meet the cobbler.
Yeah.
Have my boots resoled.
Maybe people who are not great at world building on their own.
You know, I don't know about
because all that stuff is like there for them, right?
Look,
okay. Maybe no.
Maybe this just feels obsessive to me, like an obsessive level of detail. It was kind of like my least favorite part of Game of Thrones was when George R. R. Martin would launch into some like 5-page.
Oh, the books.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? I was like, he wasn't in that.
The books.
The details of something. You're like, why do I even know? I need to know about this right now.
I literally don't care about this, George R. R. Martin.
Roasting the capers.
Yes.
Yeah, or the
garlic.
Well, there was that whole like the one thing that just broke me repeatedly in that series when I tried to read it was the whole water garden section where it's like 50 pages about the water gardens of Marin or Marine or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Tolkien did that a lot too. Whenever it's like just talking about blades of grass in the field, and you're just like,
was basically just
oh my god,
self-indulgent. But yeah, I don't care, and it never came up again in Game of Thrones, and I was just like, why did I need to read that?
It was really important at the time, okay?
It really wasn't.
You needed to fill a lot of pages.
I like that dude's whole gout thing where I was like,
that's the thing about the water gardens. You have to hear about the gouty feet.
I don't
over and over again.
Gouty feet. I don't care. I don't care that he has gout.
My God. So much gout.
Just be like,
on
he can't walk because he's got gout. Yeah. Okay, I got it. You don't need to go into the pins and
then in the show, he was played by Bashir from Deep Space Nine. I was like, what? He doesn't look anything like Bashir from Deep Space Nine.
Oh my gosh.
All right, here's one of my takes on this game, on this role-playing game.
Now that we've lost our way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Welcome to role-playing games.
Sidetracked.
There was a module for Forgotten Realms back in the 1980s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. It was called like Waterdeep City of Splendors or something.
Okay.
Waterdeep was like the big city of Forgotten Realms, the Forgotten Realms megalopolis.
Right.
And they put the whole thing into a box set, right? And you could get it out, and there was all these fold-out maps, and there was literally a book in it that was like a key to like almost every building in all of Waterdeep. It would tell you what it was, right?
Okay.
Now, this like level of like neurotic detail may seem like really awesome. Like, let me just look up what's there, what's in that grid, right? But it actually kind of is. It makes you feel kind of panic-induced. Like you can't move. Like I feel like claustrophobic. That's the word. I was like trying to write a game for that. Like, I got the old. I bought it on eBay. And I was like trying to write for it
on eBay.
And I was like, oh my god, I just feel like there's no room to move. Like literally, if the character's having a rooftop chase, I can tell them whose roofs they're on, but I have to like look it all up and stuff. So this kind of micromanagement of the setting is just a huge turnoff to me.
For you guys. But there are some people out there that really love it.
There are at least 1,200 people, according to this, who really want it.
Right.
They're stoked.
They're pumped.
And I do have to say, but even back in the 3.5 days, people were like, oh no, it's really good. So I'm like, all right. I was like, it's got lion men in it. That doesn't look so great. But now lion men are like the thing.
Yeah.
It's like a starting character now.
Because he has wares if you have coin.
What do they
That's
call
right.
it? Tabaxi? Is that what it's called? Somebody
Yes,
said that.
I think it is Tabaxi, yeah.
Somebody just was like throwing that around in a conversation. They're really like, "Oh, my Tabaxi Rogue," and I was
And you're
like,
like,
"What
what?
is a Tabaxi?"
What?
Yeah, I had somebody
I'm not familiar with that.
rattling
Hold
off
on.
their kid, because his kid was building D, and he was like, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, "I literally don't know what that is." And he's like, "I thought that you were like some super GM." And I was like, "Yeah, I have been out of that system for so long. I have
We
no
don't
clue
talk
what's going
about
on
D&D anymore. God.
Yeah.
Nobody does D. Nobody plays
Jeez.
D&D.
Tell me when your kid's ready for Zasserkow.
Yeah.
Call me then.
Come to me when your kid's ready to play a game where there's rules for severing your own limb because it's gone gangrenous. That's the role-playing game I'm gonna play with him.
Well, I'm a big fan of the details. Like, I know you guys
Are you
have
gonna
all
back
this. I'm not going to back this
This
because
is
it's a
gonna
hell
cost
of a
you a
lot of
lot of
money.
burritos.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
too
It's like,
many.
you're not gonna be able to eat burritos
Too
for
many
months.
burritos for me.
You gotta think about your car payment.
I would, right?
Come on.
I
For
gotta
real.
make rent. This is
No.
this is a rent-breaking game right here.
Yeesh.
Maybe it's big enough I could like open it and live.
You make
on
like
it.
you could make like a TV tray out of
Yeah,
it and
like I could
stuff.
just-
Like
I
you
could
eat your
just
dinner
use
on
I could just
it.
make a tent out of it and live inside of it.
I'm in Ptolus.
You open it up like it's
there now.
I live in Ptolus because I couldn't afford rent because the book was $150.
okay.
Seriously, almost as much as car
But
payment.
also
Anyway.
coming from a board game perspective, like $150 is pocket change for a board game, like
yikes.
budget
Well,
for the
that's
thing. Like,
fine, but this isn't the board game show. It's the RPG show, and as the RPG guys,
an RPG, you guys say no,
like
too much.
I will tell you, the big
much.
expenditure I made was to get the Genesis,
Oh yeah.
and that was like
Gorge.
100, and
100.
I just remember I was sitting there like,
Yeah.
you know, and I had a hard time selling out for it, and I had Alan Barr like sitting there being like, or like the devil
you
on my
could do it,
shoulder.
was
man.
seriously just standing over
He's
her
like,
shoulder,
"Do
just
it.
like,
Do it.
he's like, you gotta get it.
You should buy it.
Yeah, seriously.
No, you
Buy
want this.
book.
Seriously.
It's so good.
Seriously.
So I bought it, you know, because
But
it
the,
was.
you know what's crazy is that like, it changes in your mind how you think about things. Because like he bought it, and then Matt Kelly put a few up on Exalted Funeral, and he's like, "Oh, it's up, $100." I was like, "Oh, let me get my wallet out," and it was sold out.
It comes highly recommended. The Genesis comes highly recommended.
Yeah,
That's not on
indeed.
Kickstarter anymore.
No.
But yeah, this is clearly for a lot of people.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
I'm not one of them. That's okay. I'm not here to harsh on anybody's fun.
right.
If you need to know
Everything.
where
If you need to
the
know,
Baker sources the whole wheat
Right.
flour that he puts
Yes.
into his Hobbit rolls from, Ptolus will probably tell you that. Ptolus, yeah, sorry, not
Sorry.
Ptolus. Ptolus will probably tell you that, and you should buy it if that's your jam.
Okay.
And it'll probably
Yeah.
tell you who makes the jam, too.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I don't need that.
You don't need that in your life.
Yeah,
you don't need to
that in my
know.
life, you know, it's cool. It's well produced. It looks nice. If you got $150 burning a hole in your pocket and you feel like reading 670 pages about a city, go for it.
Right? All right, well, I thought it was really interesting. I liked it. I would have backed it if it wasn't $150. That's a bit
Yeah.
much for me. That was too much.
Yeah,
Like, and I need the book in my hand, and that's just, it's not happening.
it's a spicy
So.
meatball.
You need to use both hands for this.
Yeah.
Can you?
Right? Just to
imagine?
lift it up. You
Yeah,
hurt
like,
your
this
back.
is not like one of those
Right.
hold it right here
No.
and flip it.
Dr.
No.
Gloryhogg's gonna have a hard time
Right, lifting
carrying
that
this
up.
book around.
Yeah.
You got to think about your husband.
I know. You don't want to hurt his back.
Right.
God. All right. Well, yeah. Were you gonna back it?
Oh, no.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think so, but
I don't even know. It feels like, well, yeah.
Oh, totally.
I've already backed it at the $260
absolutely.
level.
I'm not paying my
Let's
car
do
payment.
I'm just
It's
gonna forego a
fine.
car.
It's fine. I mean, you can pay that next month.
Yeah, the
Just
car-
double up on next month, okay?
Car payment people
like,
don't
totally
need to be
fine.
paid on time. They don't care.
Well, thanks for coming down today. This is a recorded event this time, so we're sorry that we missed everybody in the comments and everything. That's always super sad because we love chatting with you guys. But overall today, what was your favorite campaign?
Ooh, wow, that's really hard for me because I'm kind of torn between Tiny Cthulhu and Soulbound. The thing is that Alan's work. I'm very familiar with it, and it has a consistency to it that makes me very happy. But then Soulbound is from like a new creator, and has like a little bit of a new take. So it's kind of one of those apples and oranges things. But I mean, can I choose two? I choose two.
Okay, which two?
Tiny Cthulhu.
Tiny Cthulhu and Soulbound. Okay.
For me, it's kind of a toss-up between Dragon Stew and Soulbound. I think they both kind of have a unique voice. They're both trying to do something quirky. Not necessarily for me, but I kind of dig what they're trying to do. And I think that the people who it speaks to will grok it and will be drawn to it and will like it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this is the show where I'm just the negative Nelly, where I'm like, but I also backed 3 of the zines from the last one, so
Can't back them all.
can't back them all, man.
Can't back them all.
I got
Especially if you're
bills to
buying
pay.
Ptolus. You can't back anything.
Yeah.
Ptolus, and that's it.
That's for the month. That's for the month on that one. For me, it was Dragon Stew because I want to throw my players into a lovely world and then ruin all their dreams. So, yeah, that's...
Strong.
Yeah, sugar, plum, candy canes, and all that, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Why are we here?"
I think it's a strong take.
No, the bread crabs won't stop attacking us.
If they make a version that's like Hannibal, I'll back that.
Yeah, then you're on with that
I'll
one.
run Hannibal, where
You're
it's
on
all
with
like,
that one.
it
Turn the bugbears into flayed angel god statues.
just really creepy stuff.
Wow,
Then I'll do that.
Not problematic.
No, not problematic at all.
You could have like flambe things too, and they run around on fire and stuff.
Yeah,
and like,
you know,
I mean, I have
Serving people their
ideas.
own leg,
I have ideas, okay, guys? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope that all of you guys like and subscribe to our content and ring that bell for notifications and stuff. And where can we find you guys at?
Adam, why don't you tell them?
Find us, Full Metal RPG, on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram at Full Metal RPG, Full Metal RPG Official, and then we're on Podbean.
Podbean is where you can find our podcast.
If you want to find our podcast, Full Metal
Yeah.
RPG, we do weekly shows where we talk about role-playing games and interview role-playing game creators and people who are ancillary to the role-playing game community.
Where you'll get a much more in-depth, like, you guys go really in-depth into
Yeah,
things.
it depends. We'll have a topic that we like to kind of grind on. Like the last one was, hey, what is balance in a role-playing game? Is it something you can achieve? And is it even worth trying to achieve? And so we'll kind of wax philosophical about these things and go, well, here's our takes on that. Here's our thoughts on this. And we try to just break down our experience on the topic and provide real-world examples of games we've run and things that we've experienced. Being in the hobby for now, 30 years. So, kind of mumble
For a little
that one.
while. For a little while.
But yeah, so...
Episode 86, live, February 29th,
Ooh.
talking about Pathfinder First Edition. We're just going to talk about Pathfinder until our eyes bleed. Like, until we can't talk about
5
it
minutes
anymore.
for me.
Oh, that'll be a long time of talking about
Just
Pathfinder.
You're like, and then I'll show myself out.
I
I'll
love
see you
talking
later.
about
So,
I can't deal with it anymore.
Yes, I can't talk about enough Pathfinder.
all right. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys all next week.
Next time.